Hi guys, Kurt Provost here, your guide to all things NuSkin. Do you think you are healthy? Let's find out in just 15 seconds, because that's all it's going to take with the new Prysm IO. This is the latest generation of the Pharmanex Biophotonic Scanner, which is produced, of course, by NuSkin. And as your guide to all things NuSkin, I have held off from creating a video about this technology until I got to attend the convention that was happening just this weekend in Sydney, and it was a remarkable event. We got to hear directly from Steve Hatchett, who is the Executive Vice President, Chief Product Officer at NuSkin, and this guy really knows his stuff. I got to sit down and have a one-on-one conversation with Steve. Unfortunately, we had a malfunction and the microphone didn't record any of that conversation, which was quite a long one. So I want to give a brief summary here before we dive into exactly what is happening with Prysm IO, because I feel Steve's background gives so much context to exactly what Prysm is and what is happening at NuSkin right now that makes it so exciting for the next few years, in fact the next few decades. Steve has been an entrepreneur for a very long time, and his company has partnered with NuSkin for over 3 decades now. In fact, Steve had an integral role in the launching of LifePak, one of the most successful product lines. I believe it might actually be the most successful product line from NuSkin to date. It sold over $6 billion worth of product from the LifePak line. And he has worked with not just NuSkin, but 2,000 other companies. He's been in over 100 manufacturing facilities, over 50 laboratories around the world, and he has helped to play a role or overseen the launching of over 15,000 products. So he really knows his stuff when it comes to product development. And that is why he is so powerful in the role of Chief Product Officer here at NuSkin, where he's really the tip of the spear driving a lot of the innovation. So in that private conversation that we had, we were discussing the, I guess, the company culture at NuSkin, that in particular with the research facilities and the scientists that come to work every day with the sole purpose of trying to make us healthier, trying to make us feel better and look better. And they do a phenomenal job at that. And part of the reason they are able to do that is because NuSkin has this culture of innovation, this culture of challenging the status quo, this culture of being the creator rather than the follower. And as a result, the scientists are encouraged to really challenge each other's ideas and come up with the best possible results, a true meritocracy, if you will. We covered things like AI agents and how AI is infusing itself into so many aspects of our lives, and NuSkin has invested heavily into AI because AI ultimately is only as good as the data it has been trained on or has access to. And NuSkin has some of the best data in the world in regards to anti-aging, health and well-being, and skincare. The over 26 million scans that the Biophotonic Scanner has done to date globally is an absolute treasure trove of data as one example of this. And as a result of that, the Prysm IO, the latest installment of the Biophotonic Scanner, has given birth from that raw data and the marriage with AI. Now, as a result of these innovations and investments, we now have a whole host of really, truly exciting and I believe revolutionary products that are on the lineup for the next years and decades to come. One of which is a tool for us as distributors with NuSkin, which I think is one of the coolest things I've heard. It's an app that you'll be able to take a photo of yourself and it will analyze your face and then make changes, positive changes, to predict what you're going to look like after a certain period of time using the skincare based on the clinical results. So this is based on the science that has come out of the clinicals NuSkin does so many clinicals on its products, unlike many other companies that, well, it's expensive, it takes time, and clinicals don't always go the way you expect them to. So most companies do away with that. It's not a necessity to launch a product, but at NuSkin, it is a necessity. This is really putting it into action, marrying that with AI, so it becomes a powerful tool where we can show people, we're talking to a consumer, and they can see what they can potentially look like as a result of using the product for 3 weeks or 3 months, and you can get that before and after before they've even used the product. How incredible is that? It opens up all sorts of realms of product guarantees and performance guarantees and things like this, just like the Biophotonic Scanner did, because it's been doing that for decades now on the inside. For those who aren't aware of the Biophotonic Scanner, here is the quick summary of it, because this is the device that introduced me to NuSkin as a company and as a business. I saw this device over a decade ago, and I had a scan from it, and it showed me, without taking any blood, without taking a chunk of my flesh to send off to a lab, have it broken down into its chemical components to analyze the antioxidant presence, and then figure out how much of that is carotenoid, and then get a reading based off that of how much you may have in the rest of your body. Instead of all that, I didn't have to do any of that. I just used my hand to place it against the Biophotonic Scanner, where a laser beam measured the carotenoid level, the antioxidant level in my tissue, and gave me a reading for my entire body in just a few minutes. Zero pain, zero time delay, and I could then make positive changes, behavior changes, as a result of the information I saw. Very easy to understand information. I could then go and change my diet, increase the fruits and veggies, or I could start taking supplements and measure whether or not they were actually getting into the tissue of my body, which is where you want it to be. You want to saturate your body. And that allows us to actually validate whether or not your supplements are being absorbed. Blew my mind. Introduced it to my doctor. She loved the science just as much as I did. She implemented it into her clinic, where over 3,000 clients started to be scanned as a result of that. So that is the backstory of the Biophotonic Scanner. That was the second version of the scanner. The original one was launched in 2003. Big, bulky device, very temperamental, had to keep it at the right room temperature, otherwise it wouldn't be accurate. Then they had the second model, that's the one I experienced, and then they brought out the third model, which is what we currently use, the S3, very accurate, wireless, portable, much more convenient device, but still, it's not for the mass market. Now we have Prysm IO, something that will be able to fit in the palm of your hand. You can carry it around in your pocket. You put your finger on it, and in 15 seconds you get an extremely accurate reading. It's doing over 200,000 scans and measurements in that 15 seconds to calibrate things. It's married with AI. It has IO capabilities, which means it can then be upgraded as they gather more data and then can measure more things in the future. It is a remarkable device, but don't just believe me. Here is Steve Hatchett going through what exactly is the potential of this device. I hope you find it as fascinating and thrilling as I did.
NuSkin is about people. I hope that message comes loud and clear as we recognize these amazing leaders. As I got a chance to talk to you yesterday, and as I got a chance to actually literally talk with you last night, not one of you came to me with problems. Not one of you came to me with issues of, oh, I'm so upset, I'm mad at her or him or them or something. You wanted to know more about the products. You wanted to know more about the company. And you wanted to tell me your story, which is a powerful story. And I'm so grateful for you. And this business is going to be so much fun as we grow, because we know we've got a lot to do. We've got the next 4 years ahead of us. And I'm so excited about it. I am so excited about it. Now, we stopped here yesterday and I'm going to blaze through some more information. Several of you said to me, is it on video? Do I get the slides? Where does it come? Guess what? I'm going to defer to John Hockey. John can tell you whether it's going to be there or not there. I'm going to leave these with him. It's up to him. But it's been just a wonderful treat to be able to prepare these for you. By the way, the slides I'm about to show you today, many of them have never been shown before in the entire existence of NuSkin. So it's only shown here first. So I want to talk real quick about Prysm. You guys, I set it up yesterday, and it's really a big deal. And why is it a big deal? And sometimes you come into these things and you say, yeah, cool. All right, it's another product, another device. I think this time next year, when I come back, you'll have understood the gravity of what happened today. You'll understand the gravity of what's going on right now. And there's a subsection of you that already get it and are going. And there's a subsection of you who are sitting there going, pretty cool. I'll see how that turns out. And there's another group of you who are saying, whatever. I'm just going to lunch. Cool. Get a lunch. Wait. Or wait. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. So, for those of you who want to know a little bit more about Prysm, we already talked about the size differential. We talked about the portability. We talked about the price. We talked about the fact that the only reason Scanner isn't a multi-trillion-dollar business yet, in my personal opinion, is just because we didn't have access to it. Every time people got access to it, they grew, okay? And they could grow their business as long as we supported it. But we couldn't get them access to it. So now we have access to it. You're going to see it. So, we're talking about truly intelligent wellness. And why do we call it truly intelligent wellness? Is because there's a lot of supplements out there. In fact, there's millions of products out there in the world right now. Millions. There's more information on the internet than ever before. You Google whatever term you want to Google, and it goes out there and it says a million different things. Do you know how many times I've heard people say, I go on to find a product for X, let's just say they're not part of NuSkin yet, and I'm 2 hours later, I've learned a ton of stuff, I went down a rabbit hole over here and some discussion board over here, but I'm still where I was before. I'm not sure which ones are the products. Everyone's saying great things here, great things there, and I'm saying this is the difference with NuSkin. We're difference demonstrated because we're not going to say, I hope it's good, I think it's good, I believe it's good, or this is better and that's better. It's let's measure and see what's better. And that's what truly intelligent wellness is. So, the questions you typically ask is, okay, well, I'm spending my hard-earned time. Am I in the right place? That's the bottom line. Well, when you have a $6 trillion industry going to $9 trillion, I think that's a good indication you're in the right place. Really good. Number two is, okay, now I've got the right industry, the right timing, but do I have something I can sell that's unique and proprietary? Check. Number three is, okay, I've got something that's out there. There are wearables now that are saying things like, we can measure antioxidants. Great. What products do they give you? Zero. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Cool. We agree. But they can't follow up with a solution. You can. That's a big difference. And it's demonstrable. So, we know, $6 trillion industry, growing at a rapid pace, proprietary breakthrough technology that's patent pending, coming through right now, and the fact that we have a solution that isn't just a product and it's done, it's a solution to help people get into the health side of the business. So, your personalized score, we talked about this yesterday, 4 key quadrants, right? You get your foods, vegetables, and so forth, intake, exercise, BMI, that type of thing, making sure that you've got a lockdown on how you look and how you feel for you personally. The pollution and lifestyle issues that we deal with every single day. And those of you who unfortunately got hooked on nicotine and so forth like that, no judgment. It's a great idea to stop for those around you. And then for those of you who aren't supplementing, I'm not going to say who, but I know a few of you have come up to me and said, quiet. See, I'm not taking the supplements right now. And I said, my simple question was, oh, that's fine. Start taking them. I'm not a pastor, I'm not a preacher, I'm not a spiritual leader of any type. But somebody did this for me and I'm going to do it for you today. You've made mistakes. You've missed stuff. You haven't treated people nicely sometimes. Maybe you didn't deal fairly with somebody in the past. Maybe you didn't take supplements. Maybe you didn't do a lot of things. And this guy looked at me and said, right in the eye and said, Steve, forgive your past. It's done. There's nothing you can do about it. Forgive it. Let it go. Forgive it. Don't forget what got you here. Don't forget the lessons you learned. But don't keep that backpack of trouble on your back. You look forward. You don't look backwards. You just keep moving forward. Deal? Yeah. You do that with me? Yeah. Let's do it. So, with that thought in mind, I'm going to talk to you about something very scientific, and if you have 7 more hours, I'll talk to you outside and we can talk about all of this all day, all night. But this technology, a lot of people say, well, what is it exactly? What happened? Hyperspectral absorption, what does that mean? It's really kind of like, whoa, it's a lot there. But basically what we're saying is we took the genius of machine learning and AI that we have now, and we took that Raman database that we had, that 21 million scans, and we put this algorithm together, and this took a long time. Until the machine learning started doing the work, and it didn't stop, it didn't take breaks, it didn't, go to the bathroom, it didn't stop. It just kept going and churning. It said this, because it was looking for the sequencing of lights at a certain flash and rate of speed that would hit, so when it touched your finger, it could read, scan thousands of times, and get a correlation score. Now, people say, oh, yeah, we know it's reflectance. Nope. No, we're not going to tell you what it is, because that's our proprietary science. And we've developed it over the last 23 years, and we're not just going to give it away, and it's unique to NuSkin, it's unique to you, and when people say, oh, we've got something similar to that, they just simply don't. They can't. Because they don't have the algorithms, they don't have the information, they don't have the 23 years and 21 million data points that we have. Think about that for just a second, okay? How many companies have you been around for 23 years? Much longer, 41 years. And then how many companies actually took the time to get the data to do what we're doing now? It's amazing to me to recognize that because we kept all of this data, it allowed us to have the next 40 years of what we're going to be doing. So hyperspectral array, in simplest terms, is you have these LED lights. You see these 5 lights, and there's one more, and I'm not going to explain because that's some secret sauce we've got. There's actually 6 lights, but we're not talking about all of them. Anyways, there's 5 LED lights. It hits the skin. It reacts in a certain way, and it fragments the light, and then it comes up through that photodiode. Photodiode takes a snapshot, and takes another snapshot, and verifies, and this is all going on, as you know, in like milliseconds. And when the professors at BYU were discussing this with me, I'm just like, okay, stop, back up. What are you talking about? It's real. There's a 130-page document about this. There's the algorithm and so forth, but it basically, it created the opportunity for us to go into the skin, understand what's happening here, measure it, and in 15 seconds get those 200,000 plus scans to kilometers score. Now, it's funny, some of you companies say, oh, Steve, again, you do the hush thing, you don't want anything to get embarrassed, right? Like, Steve, I scanned on that one, then I scanned on that one, and it was a little bit different. You guys got some work to do here. And I'm like, oh man. I told John before I came, I said, John, if we get out the prisms, they're going to do that. He says, Steve, the wonderful down here in Pacific, they won't say that. They're great people. They won't pull you aside and give you a hard time. I said, John, I said, we're at EBT stage. It's like 2 stages before the actual finished product stage. And so we're still dialing in all of it's what's called pigmentation of the skin. So you got to have all the different layers, because not every single one of you guys are the same, and not every single one of you use the same cream on your hands, and not every single one of you use the same antibacterial, and it's all different. So we're timing all of the sequencing for liquids, lotions, fingers, sweat, resin, all that stuff's going in there. So by the time it launches in November, all of that's in. So you're part of a process of refining it. So I'll just say thank you to those of you who alerted me to the problem and told me all the challenges that we're having right now. And then those of you who hit it every single time and said, it was perfect. It was exactly what I scored on Biophotonic Scanner. And it was good on that one, it was good on that one. And I did it 6 times and it was right. And I'm like, great. What about that person behind you in line? Did they like you too? And then, no. So, congratulations on being part of the biggest study we've ever done pre-launch. And the input's been taken and received. Now what's really cool about all this is we collect all that data and we send it back. Now we don't know who it is. We don't really care about we're not going to go into people's privacy and personal things, but we now have used every single one of these data points to be able to inform the response. Okay? Because is every single person the same in the world? No. Every single fingerprint's different. So by gathering that information, we're gathering data, and it goes into a pool, and it refines and refines to the point where we get. They say typically in medical device, it's like 5-10% RSD, something like that, relative standard deviation. So you have this flex and so forth that's in there. We're talking about getting it down to less than 1% RSD, meaning the variation by the time it comes out in November is like, it's right there. So, we're pretty excited about it. Super interesting technology. That's about all I can share on that. It does go through this process I talked about where we get these values, this creation. It comes in, and the only way we were able to do this, though, is because of this Raman technology on the far side. So a lot of people say, oh, well, machine learning, I can just figure it out. You have to have data before you can actually convert it to intelligence. And then that intelligence then becomes wisdom when you apply it properly, okay? That's the big difference. Sorry you missed it. You gotta go faster with the phone. Alright. This new app that's coming out, you talk about simplicity. I've talked, I don't know how many hours I've talked to you, and you have given me the riot act on digital. And I've listened. We've got to make this simple, intuitive, and easy for you and for your friends. So, the biggest thing we can possibly do is make it easy for you to literally, in 15 seconds, scan somebody and provide them that score. Now, what we do with that score, it's going to be really, really clear. So, for instance, I've done this a million times, and when I scan somebody, they look at it and they say, oh, orange, what does that mean? And then you give them kind of the bad news. And you share with them kind of where they're at. And I said, oh. I said, now, I can send you over a summary of the report along with a clinical that talks about the benefits and also the way to improve that score if you're interested. Do you think they're interested? Yeah. Are they going to give the number? Yeah. And they do. I've done this at airports. I mean, you think I'm the creeper of all creepers, but they want to talk about health. It's so easy to talk about. They actually ask me a lot of times, what do you got there? This will actually, on the left-hand side, you've got the score, so you can scan yourself, and it gives you the score, or you can scan a friend, somebody interested in business or a consumer, and it gives them a score. It tells them that specific score, and then you can send it to them with the recommendations and healthy lifestyle habits, and tells them what it means, why you got it, everything. So think about this, 15 seconds. You're talking to them about them, their life, who they care about, what they're doing it for, and then they get the score, and then you just send it to them. And then that comes with the subscription that's on there. And it provides all the information for them. You're not selling anymore, you're just sharing health and wellness, and you get them on the journey, okay? It's pretty cool. Now, a lot of times these guys will want to be private, so they'll go into the rooms, it's my precious, I'm going to figure out how to do this, okay? Which means I still check on there. How do you want to increase your score? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? What do you want to go after? What else are you interested in? Are you interested in other things, for instance, like eyes? Are you interested in cardiovascular health? Are you looking about losing some weight or some fat? What are you interested in? Oh yeah, and then right into other products that are available to you. And talk to the person that got you on that line. Simple, 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 simple. Easy subscription model goes through. And then always tied back to a clinical. Remember the 112 I talked about yesterday? What if they're just right there ready for you? Just go boom, there it is. But what is an antioxidant? Boom. But what's NuSkin? Boom. I mean, these are like little links, shareable links that they can have immediately. That is in their language, with their information, with their regulatory structure function plans. How many times have you sat there and people get really excited and you're like, and I'm going to have Joe Chang and somebody talk to you about this and those cyanins, and I got to try that. Whoa. So you want to go? Where? The Provo? Your name again was who? No, stop. Just simply do this. Say, what's your objection if they have one? And you wouldn't say it like that. You'd say, what else? No. And when they have it, you're going to have this little resource database that you're going to be boom, 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 and provide it to them. A shareable 15-second testimonial from me, from Joe Chang, from other people talking about the business, and referring to the peer-reviewed studies that we've done, and the study that we did in Korea, and the study that we did in California, and the study that we did in Japan, and the study that we did in Europe. That validates everything right here. And if they say, well, is this credible? We say, I don't know. This is like these 27 professors and these 75 PhDs seem to think so, but you choose. So it's up to you. So it goes like this. It's very simple. Score the person. I mean, please don't complicate the issue. It's so funny. I saw people do this all the time. So we're going to talk about the crop noise and how they go into that thing. No. Just don't even talk about crop noise. Just show the product. Range stuff. Yes. Great. 15 seconds will change your life. Just right here. Score them. Product recommendation. Share that information with them. And then that provides them information on not just supplements, but healthy lifestyle habits that will help them live healthier lives. And of course, there's a tie into the subscription. Click a link, there'll be a discount, there'll be a wonderful auto ship program that'll be right there ready for them, and a money back guarantee in 90 days if their score doesn't change. That's what's going to happen. You're going to have it. It's simple. Nobody's got any money, but they've got tons and tons of things. So this is kind of a visual so you can see it, how it looks. So there they are scanning. 15 seconds doesn't seem like a long time. Sometimes when you're caught, they're going. And then you get your score, and it comes in. But it gives you an opportunity to talk to them and find out a little bit more about them, by the way. It's always about other people. They get the score. Look at that. Green. Okay, well, they got green. Well, what does that mean? And then they go and they say, well, there you go. There's your Prysm Wellness score. There's the information. You think we haven't thought through this a little bit? And by the way, guess who created all of this? Not me, not Joe Chang. You did. All we did was listen to you and what your experience has been. This has been leader-led and leader-created all the way through. What are your objections? What do you see? What's the challenge? And let's move forward. Okay? Then you look at it and you say, okay, look, eat healthy. Look, level 1, if you go after this is some things you do, lower BMI. We're going to help them on their health journey. Yes, there's supplements involved. Yes, there's personal care involved. But we're going to also give them insights, and we have massive content to share on how they can do better. Drinking more water, getting more sleep. Sounds like basics, but we're going to remind them. Number 2, we're going to focus on these vegetables that are so important to their lives and actually try to chip away at it and say, do this, do this, do this. Now they can choose not to, but we're going to keep giving them insights, okay? Then, Greg says supplements, off they go. How fast do you want to go? Level 3, level 2, level 1, because what's a level? Level means the amount of crop noise that are in there that are going to have a profound impact. So we'll actually have stack effects. So a good, better, best, and they can choose. So for instance, if you're at a 22,000 like score Biophotonic Scanner or a 220, or if you're in the red or the orange and so forth, and you want to get up to say green in like X amount of days, it'll do that calculation. Say your best bet is to take Life Pack with Lifespan, and you'll get there. Do your scan. Boom. And then it hits, click, blink, done, finish. Like that, finish. Oh, you're at 72,000. Fantastic. Great. You want a maintenance dose? And up the game quite a bit in terms of other products that you can do like Meta and so many more. Okay? So it's going to help you expand that opportunity. So, again, when you're thinking about this, think about it simply as your bioactive network, sharing it with a friend, understanding some information, getting a link, sharing it with a friend, this simple. Not complicated. You can be on the other side of the world, or you can be right next door, or you literally, like my kids sometimes are sitting next to each other, texting each other. I don't know how that works. I still don't understand. I've asked them 20 times. They still say, Dad, just whatever. You're a boomer. That's what they call it. But anyways, life pack study up there, little testimonial up there, fantastic. You have all this health quotes, information that's there, life pack supplementation, and if you want to dig into all these other healthy lifestyle issues, they're all right there at a touch of a finger, boom. It goes right through that, okay? So this is really going to change everything. Now, Chef Maggie would be really, really mad at me if I didn't explain this one last little piece right here. This is kind of a Prysm future-looking homepage. You know, what do they say on here? This is not the final sale. This is like, you know, still in process and so forth. But just to give you some vision of what we're trying to do here, think about this. So this would be your Prysm dashboard that you would have on your phone or on your iPad or whether it be your computer. On the left-hand side is the home, the focus area traits. As you put information in from your Prysm score, as you put your information in from your DNA tests that may be available sometimes in in the future, and you might have a skin assessment that might come through. And then you might have some other biometrics that, you know, over the next several years, we're going to start pumping into this database to give you the opportunity to discover the best you and help others do the same. It's going to load in here, and it's going to help you make great decisions on what you need to do. It is something that is going to change, because if you look at this is the digital twin, this is what we've talked about, and this is what we're saying. As we go through this ecosystem, and we look at the different connected devices that we can potentially connect into and getting data from there, as well as from our own devices, it's going to inform our intelligent nutrition, and it's going to allow us to have the opportunity to do things that nobody's ever done before. So that's why the life packs we talked about yesterday are so important, because the reality is that we talked about India yesterday, right? Here's their profile. This is their nutrient profile, just undivided tumors. Look at this. So the gray areas are where the gaps are based upon the recommended daily allowance. Look at those. So we're designing the product that does this, fills all those gaps. Okay? Every single product. So is products going to be different in India than other places? We talked about this yesterday. Yes. Okay? Super, super clear. We're designing it for India. We're going to have this core, amazing formula that everyone can essentially afford. And then when they want to raise the game to the next level, we're going to have another one, and then one more. So we're really going to allow everybody to come into this business in a way that's powerful. Someone says, I can't afford NuSkin, it's too costly. Not anymore. Okay? Now, you say to yourself, well, we can't make any claims in this company. Nobody will let us say anything. Okay, this is just the US, so don't get too excited. This is not TGA approved. This is not Australia approved. But just think about this, and there's different ones for different places, but corrects nutritional deficiencies. You go all through this. Improves supports your antioxidant defense network. It actually promotes healthy immune system function. All right, go through that one more time. Helps promote healthy immune system function. Normal blood sugar metabolism. Anybody interested in that? Look at this. Promotes healthy teeth and gums. Like, look at these. This is what you can say in America. In Australia, go look on the website. It actually is all set up right there. You can see it. It's right there for you, and you can say all of those things. Stay to what we have. You don't need any more because it's fantastic. This is what you can do now that you've shown people how to get there. So you said scan, you got trouble, or you need to get better. Number two is, here are product solutions that can give you those results. You ready to change the world? I mean, seriously, are you ready to change the world? Because this is where it's going. Okay, throw it out there to you. $100. Anybody can show me somebody else who's doing this. Somebody else who's done 2,700 total clinical studies on their products. Show me one other group that's done 112 studies on their Biophotonic Scanner, or a non-invasive way to measure antioxidant scores. Show me another company that has peer-reviewed research in over 17 different countries and on every single continent. Show me a company that has a commitment to not just helping people get better from a wealth and wealth building standpoint, but from a health standpoint, who has committed $200 million in the last year to get the word out through all of you. Tell me another company that's done that. I'd love to, I'll give you $100. Give me one. No. I've been all over the world. I've offered this to every single group. I even up to 1,000 last week. There's a group. And nobody can take it because it's not there. If you go home today and you go, yeah, just another one of those lectures, something about nutrition, blah, 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 blah. You missed it. You absolutely missed it. It's about relationships and personalities and people. You have the power to do so much good in this world. It's amazing. And so now we're at a point where, do we have any credibility? We're the number one in the world for beauty and wellness device systems. Did you know that? Euromonitor that gave us the ranking. That was your ranking. And then you think about, was it fast? Yeah, 15 seconds. Proprietary technology. And then you think about scientific validation. This is the clinicals that we've done on our products. These are our products to make sure that they're right. This is a rolling list of clinicals. I'm telling you, I've been there, I've been doing this for 33 years, I've seen it, I've seen other people bring to the table, and the reality is, unfortunately, very few companies will do the research, very few companies will do the clinical, because it costs money, it costs time, and sometimes it doesn't work out. And that's a losing proposition for some people, but for NuSkin, it's the only way we'll do business. Because we have to know whether it works. We're not going to put something out there that is just to sell a product. It just won't happen here. That's not what the founders taught us. Is it still scrolling? I can't. Yeah, I'm trying to look for the right screen. It's still, yeah, it is. Okay. I don't think we have time to keep going through that, but just to give you an idea. Our clinical studies and the work we've done is second to none. Truly. Come to our facilities in Provo if you haven't been there. Come see our labs. Come see why, if it's 1 microgram off, we reject it. Come see if the organoleptic characteristics, if the 6S process isn't proven out and it doesn't meet our qualifications, why we don't accept those products and ingredients. Why safety is more important to us than any other single thing. We have to know that what you're putting inside your body is safe, it's effective, it's pure, and it does everything that we say it's supposed to do. That is our commitment to you, and we will never not do that, period. Okay? Now, talked about some of these. This is just through 2024. We received over 210 awards. It's kind of awkward. It's like, thank you. I didn't do any of this, but thank you. Scientific posters, 108. Total patent, 73. Oral presentations, 42. I mean, it just keeps going. And we just did another study, just finished on Prysm, and Dr. Shelley Hazard was phenomenal. You can meet her one day. She did a fantastic scientific presentation, and it was awesome. I mean, this was presented just recently, so it's going to be published, and this is going to be about your products that you're going to be sharing with people about the Prysm and about LifePak and what we're doing. She just did the first presentation. It was there at the American Society of Nutritional Meeting. It was unbelievable, and she, everybody was like, what in the world is going on with you guys? Like, who is Provo? What is a Provo? You know, they didn't even know this little company in Provo, Utah, and all these scientists from all over the world were going, what are they doing? How do they measure? How do they know how to do the formulas? Did you know to get the right absorption of vitamin E, you have to have a certain level of selenium to balance it out? It's a ratio. Calcium, magnesium, vitamin D, it's a ratio. It's not just a whole bunch of ingredients. It's you have to have the right ingredients and the right ratios at the right amount. Because they all want to fight each other a little bit. They're a little jealous of each other sometimes. They want to like I do. But you find the right combination, they support each other. They're what's called cofactors. The cofactors to get a reaction to be able to do the things they want to do inside your body. Now, how do we know that? Because that's what we do every single time we make a product, okay? So, this was sent to me by a leader, and I'll never forget it. How would you feel if you knew you were giving your children, giving your loved ones, an aging mother-in-law, father-in-law, somebody you're responsible for, and you're not considering, this is not electrical, you're not considering whether it's really going to help them, especially if it's supposed to be helpful. Now again, you give them some sugar, that's like, I do that all the time. But, do you know what you're giving them? Do you know how it's going to impact them? And the answer is you deserve to know. And there's not many companies who are actually saying, we're going to tell you what it is. You deserve to know, your children deserve to know, your family deserves to know, your friends deserve to know. And when you walk through the doors, or you're at the coffee shop, or you're talking to somebody over a landline or a mobile phone, and you're trying to say, NuSkin's the right company, and this is the right product, and this is the time for you, you better know what you're talking about. And you better have the confidence right here that you're talking about it in a way that's confident and strong. You shouldn't be like, yeah, there's this product, and you should just over here, and the products, and go to the website. I mean, you need to be like this, saying, these guys have done the studies. Here's the research. I'm not a doctor, but here's what they have. They have multiple doctors on the staff. Here's the clinical substantiation. Here's what has happened in my life personally, from a product experience. I'm a product in life, and this is what happens. When you do that, and you look them straight in the eye, it's really hard to say no. Because you know it's right here. And even if they do, it's genuine, it's authentic, and it's real, and you know what you're doing. That's what it's all about. So, when we're thinking about this, we're going into India. Some of you know this is the richest world. There's more money in India, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. There's still a massive underserved population. We've got a whole program in place that we're going to talk about in the next several months. It's going to talk about what, like John was talking about earlier, with our nursing children and being able to give back to people who can't help themselves. It's going to be huge, not just in India, but all over the world. And so we really want this to be about helping the world through nutrition. I can tell you that if somebody, a child, in the formative years, the very beginning, if they don't get a certain level of vitamin A in the very beginning of their life, they have 80% more risk to go blind. In India, women have tubular pregnancy issues 20 times more, as I said yesterday, than any other country. And why? Because they have no folic acid in their diet. And they're having a child, and they're going to be at risk more than any other single person. Can you believe that? Giving life and having that risk in this day and age, in 2025, where you can actually, for less than 2 cents, provide them the nutrition they need in terms of just giving them folic acid, or just giving them a little bit of beta-carotene vitamin A. It's so simple. Nutrient deficiencies are real, and they affect a lot of people. We're going to do something about it. And it's going to keep happening through you. So, we're going to go after, we talked about these the children initiatives, which is fantastic. I had to be here to see that and these guys standing up. So, it's been told to me by all the leadership, it's this right here. It's this right here. When you're trying to decide whether you want to do something going forward, you have to know 5 things. Number 1, do you really want to help people? Check. Does the company have credibility? And are they staying around 41 years? You heard about the amount of commissions we've sent out, but how many people have we helped? It's unbelievable. So we're here and we're sticking around here for a long time. Third, if you look at NuSkin and you look at what we're doing, this Prysm right here is one of the most unique proprietary innovations that no one else can say they have. You can go into India, but there's already a ton of products in there, but there's not Prysm. And we're taking it in. And you're going to be a part of it at the tip of the spear. The market trends say this is hot, 6 to 9 trillion. You're in the right place at the right time with the right company doing the right things. And therefore, we've got to keep it going. Don't just show up and sell a car, because the car is a one-time sell. Follow me on this. I've looked at leadership groups across the world. Who wins? It's the groups who understand the fundamental principle that when you get people to think about their life in more than one transaction, you make a difference in their health and beauty. And you have a more stable business. Subscription at 50% changes the world for you personally. I've talked to people who have been the leaders of all leaders. They're so excited, their growth, this trajectory is phenomenal, and then something happens in their life where they have to back off the business for a month or two, and their business starts to come off. I say, why? It's because you don't have anything on subscription. You don't have anything there. Well, what products do I do? It's LifePack. Well, LifePack's not sexy. What? LifePack's, how about stability? Is that sexy? How about a business flying and you know that next month is going to be fairly good, and the following month's going to be fairly good, and the following month's going to be fairly good? Do you like that? How about sell it once, not 12 times? And keep it going. Stability is the new sexy. That's kind of fun. That's kind of growth mindset. The future's now.
Congratulations for making it this far, guys. You clearly have a passion and interest in your own health and well-being and that of those around you. I'm curious if you see the same business potential that I saw when I first experienced the Biophotonic Scanner over a decade ago. I think the Prysm is what I saw over a decade ago, except for the mass market. We have the potential now to finally bring this technology and a dramatically advanced technology to the masses so that we can really impact the health of this world. If that's something that you would like to participate in, because the beauty of this company is that NuSkin works with distributors to get the products out there, and as a result we get to build businesses and have a slice of whatever products they launch. So if that's something that you'd like to participate in and bring it to your town, city, state, country, then let's continue the conversation if you don't have someone already to talk to. My name is Kurt Provost. I am your guide to all things NuSkin. You can find me on Facebook or Instagram at Kurt Provost, or my email is kurtnuskin@gmail.com. Looking forward to continuing the conversation there, guys. If not, I'll see you in a future video because you've hit that subscribe button and also given it a thumbs up. Cheers, guys.